What would you do if your electricity bill doubled overnight, factories shut down, and governments across Europe scrambled to prevent blackouts? This is not just a hypothetical, it's Europe's new reality. The Russia-Ukraine gas transit agreement has expired, throwing the continent into uncharted waters. But how did we get here, and more importantly, what happens now? Stick around, because this crisis will likely affect more than just Europe. The energy crunch isn't just about prices or politics, it's about survival in a modern economy. Who stands to gain and who will suffer? Let's break it down. On January 1st, 2025, a critical energy deal expired. The agreement that allowed Russian gas to flow through Ukrainian pipelines into Europe. Without a renewal, Europe now faces the twin challenges of energy insecurity and rising costs. For years, this agreement was a vital supply route, but geopolitical tensions and shifting priorities have severed the ties, leaving Europe scrambling for alternatives. Even before the deadline, energy prices began to soar. European markets saw gas futures spike by 5% in the final week of 2024, one of the sharpest increases since the 2021 energy crisis. Europe's gas storage reserves have been draining fast. From late September to mid-December, reserves dropped 19%, a troubling sign for a continent heading into winter. Higher gas prices inevitably mean more expensive electricity. Businesses and households are already feeling the strain, with factories considering production cuts and families bracing for higher utility bills. Liking this in-depth analysis, hit the like button and share this video. Let's help more people understand this crisis. Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico issued a public plea to the European Commission. He is warned that Europe faces more severe economic fallout than Russia if the gas supply issue isn't resolved quickly. Slovakia, who depends heavily on Russian natural gas, could see tens of billions in additional annual costs. But his comments sparked a firestorm. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Fico of pandering to Russia. This war of words between leaders highlights just how fragile Europe's political unity can be during a crisis. Could Europe's leaders turn against each other? History shows that when resources run short, alliances are tested. This isn't just a story of political tension. It's about the real impact on European economies and daily lives. Here is what's happening now. Sectors like manufacturing and chemical production rely heavily on affordable energy. With rising prices, companies may cut jobs, slash productions, or relocate to regions with more stable supplies. Higher wholesale energy prices translate directly into higher costs for everyday consumers. Grocery prices, transportation fees, and home heating costs are all likely to increase. Governments are already facing pressure from citizens angry about the rising cost of living. In countries like Germany and Italy, public protests are becoming more frequent. The expiration of this deal has accelerated Europe's effort to wean itself off Russian energy. Diversification is no longer optional, it's essential. Europe has been increasing its imports of liquefied natural gas from the US and Qatar, but the transition is neither cheap nor fast. Investing in renewable energy is also critical. However, wind farms and solar panels can't solve immediate winter heating needs. Experts predict that Europe will need to invest billions to build the infrastructure needed for energy diversification. New pipelines, advanced storage facilities, and partnerships with non-Russian suppliers are top priorities. What would you do if you were in charge? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We are curious to hear your solution. The United States is taking a significant role in reshaping Europe's energy landscape. Nearly half of Europe's LNG now comes from the US, and exports have been ramping up since 2021. But there is a catch. It comes at a cost. Former President Donald Trump has made headlines again, issuing a warning to Europe: buy more American oil and gas or face tariffs. This demand could force European nations to either increase spending or risk a trade conflict with their ally. The energy crisis isn't new. Europe's dependence on Russian gas dates back to the 1960s. For decades, the pipelines running from Russia to Europe symbolized mutual economic benefit even during periods of political tensions. But events like Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea and its 2022 invasion of Ukraine highlighted the risks of relying on a politically unstable partner. These crises pushed Europe toward energy diversification, but progress has been slow, and now the clock is ticking. Is Europe's reliance on Russian energy finally over, or will the high costs of alternatives push them back into old patterns? European leaders are now at a crossroads, grappling with the urgent need to secure energy suppliers while preparing for the long term. A key focus is on accelerating investments in renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, and geothermal to build a more stable and sustainable foundation for the future. In the short term, strengthening partnerships with reliable energy suppliers like Qatar, the US, and Australia will be essential to bridge the supply gap. Additionally, governments are likely to promote energy efficiency measures, encouraging industries and consumers alike to adopt technologies that reduce overall demand. This approach not only alleviates immediate pressures, but also positions Europe to better navigate the volatile energy landscape ahead. These combined efforts, while ambitious, are vital steps to regain stability and avoid reliance on politically fraught energy suppliers. Experts warn that the transition will likely cost Europe an additional €120 billion over the next 2 years. Meanwhile, industries and households brace for continued price volatility. The expiration of the Russia-Ukraine gas transit deal is more than just a geopolitical spat, it's a turning point. Europe's energy future hinges on the decisions made now, whether it's diversifying imports, accelerating green energy projects, or negotiating tough deals with allies like the US. One thing is clear: there is no room for delay. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We've got plenty more content coming your way. Thanks for watching. See you next time.